Hello everyone and welcome to Retail Archaeology. In this week's episode, we'll be taking a look at the Biltmore Fashion Park in Phoenix, Arizona. This mall opened in 1963 and it's considered the Phoenix area's first luxury shopping mall. It's currently owned and managed by Macerich, who acquired it from Westcor in 2002. Here's one of many fountains that are in this mall. Let's take a quick look at the map so we can get an idea of the size of this place. Now this is an outdoor mall and I don't usually like outdoor malls, but this one I really do enjoy. It reminds me a lot of the outdoor malls that are in Southern California. It's currently anchored by a Macy's, a Saks Fifth Avenue, and a Lifetime Fitness. The Saks Fifth Avenue currently occupies the building from one of the mall's other original anchors, which was a store called I. Magnin, which is a San Francisco, or was a San Francisco-based luxury department store. Apparently they shut down sometime around 1994. I've never actually heard of them though, so I'm going to have to look into them. The building that the Macy's is in was built in 1968 and was originally a Broadway department store. When this mall opened in 1963, and for a lot of years after that, this was the premier luxury shopping location in the Phoenix area. However, that's not the case anymore. There are many luxury shopping centers very close to this place, including Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall, which is like 10 minutes from here. Now this is the biggest fountain in the mall. This is in the mall's center court. And I know we didn't do any fountain cam on the first fountain that we passed by, but let's go ahead and take a look inside this one. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't really see what I was filming, so this isn't very interesting, but there are better fountain cam shots throughout this video. Now, right behind us is the Saks Fifth Avenue. And this is a very, very fancy store. Let's take a quick peek inside. There is just a lot of marble and brass and just old school luxury department fixtures all over the place. I really did like the look of this store. Obviously, I can't afford anything in here, and actually, even if I could, I probably wouldn't shop here anyways. I do find these luxury department stores, kind of fun to hang out and look in for a few minutes, but it gets kind of old pretty quick, and it's not my kind of place. I would have loved to have seen the original Saks Fifth Avenue location. Apparently there was a lot of really cool like Native American sand art and sculptures and things in it. It's unfortunate that's gone now. Now we're all the way on one end of the mall, kind of walking through, and this is where you kind of start to see problems with this place. The center point where we started looked very busy and there was a lot of people kind of milling around and stuff, but once you start to go out to the edges of the mall, you start to see a lot of empty shops and not nearly as many people. It is really pretty to look at though, I will give it that. I love all of the greenery and everything and the fountains. It was a really beautiful day out too, so between that and the way this mall looks, I did get a lot of those kind of Southern California vibes here. If you haven't watched any of my videos covering some of the malls in Southern California, you should definitely check those out. You'll see what I'm talking about. The only other thing that seemed busy here besides the center court of the mall were some of the restaurants. There isn't a proper food court here, but there are some expensive restaurants along the edges of the mall. And there's another one of the fountains there off in the distance, but you see what I mean? I love all the greenery and the flowers and everything. This place is really beautiful. It is a shame to see so many vacancies now. From what I've been able to gather, a lot of the luxury brand stores that were here have kind of slowly moved over to places like Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall over the years. And with Scottsdale Fashion Square having just opened up that whole new luxury wing, I'm sure that's not doing this place any favors either. It is really nice to see a mall actually maintaining and keeping its fountains. Even as clean as this place is though, I'm sure you'll notice that abandoned drink there over on the edge of the fountain. It's not an episode of Retail Archaeology until you find the abandoned drink. I really do like this outdoor mall much more than the other outdoor malls in the Phoenix area, like for example Santan Village, which I've covered in a previous video. Those are just way too spread out and don't really have much character. Even though this is outdoors, everything is still kind of close together. And also, even though this place has had several renovations over the years, there's still a lot of those original 1960s architectural details that you can see throughout. I really was impressed with this place visually, even though it's a quote-unquote luxury mall. It still has character. It's not just a bunch of stuff clad in travertine and no color or anything like that. All of the plants and the flowers add really nice touches of color. It just makes the place really enjoyable to walk through. It's just too bad there aren't more people, walking through here enjoying it. Do you see that architectural detail along the top of the building? That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you look at this cover of Arizona Living magazine from when the mall opened, you can see that architectural detail is original to the mall. It's easy to blame the emptiness of this mall on the pandemic. However, from what I've gathered, this mall was struggling before the pandemic, and also everything is opened in Arizona now, and a lot of people are vaccinated and people are starting to go out. And there are other places like Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall that are 10 minutes from here that are very busy and have been busy for months. So I'm surprised that people aren't returning here. We're headed back towards that center point of the mall though, and you can see as we get closer to the center, the vacancies kind of become less and less and more of the stores are occupied. But when you look down that way, it's very quiet. And here's another fountain in this mall, and this is not the last one we'll see. Now this is the same shot from the other side of the fountain, but the mesh kind of sunk down deeper, so the whole camera got submerged. Yeah, see, now that we're back in the center point of the mall, things look a little bit more active. I will say, even though there's no food court here, there are those two little booths. One of them is a little coffee shop, and then there's also a freshly squeezed juice one. Mark and I got a couple of fresh juices from there, and they were amazing. They were expensive, but delicious. Welcome back, you've been missed. Fortunately, it doesn't look like a lot of people have been missing this place, though. This is the other side of the mall, and this side seems even quieter. There's so many luxury shopping options just within this immediate area of Phoenix that I don't know how they're going to fill this place out again unless they kind of start courting some less than luxury brands to go in these empty stores. It says trending now, but this side of the mall is not trending. Even some of those less than luxury brands might be a problem because besides all of the luxury shopping that's in the area, there's also a lot of power centers and other things real close to here as well with plenty of those brands already. I've even covered a few of them on the channel. For example, there's Town & Country, which is another very old outdoor shopping mall that's right near this place that is not quite as luxurious, quote unquote, but it's still really nice. And then there's also the former Camelback Colonnade, which is another used to be mall, but there's only a very small portion of it. But then it's just tons and tons of big box stores. I really think this just might be another issue of having built too much retail in the area for what it needs. I thought this little section down here was just kind of an alleyway, like entrance-exit area, but those are actually all empty storefronts all along down there, except for one barber shop that's open. Happiness is the warm sun. A warm sun is happy. Unfortunately, during the summer here, it's a little bit more than warm. It's more like hellish inferno, and I don't think that's happiness at all. If you are going to build an outdoor mall in the Phoenix area, though, I think this is the way to do it. With it being, more, compact together and everything, there's more opportunities for shade and things like that. So at least it's not quite so hot during the summer. It looks like things aren't working here, though, anymore, because even this whole walkway is just empty storefront windows. Walking around here the whole time, it was really making me miss Southern California. Thankfully, I just was able to recently get my first vaccine dose, so I will get the second one fairly soon, and a couple of weeks after that, hopefully I can start doing some traveling and covering things outside of Arizona again. Even this Macy's building reminds me of Southern California. A lot of the Macy's stores that are in the old malls in Southern California were also former Broadway stores, so they look just like this one, with the same architectural details and everything. I don't know that I would call this mall dead yet, but it's definitely dying, I think. Things are not going well here. It's kind of amazing when you think about it. This is a mall in the Phoenix area that I have not covered on this channel before. And believe it or not, there are still malls in the Phoenix area that I have not covered yet, and other ones in Arizona that I have not covered. And a lot of the ones that I have covered have been dead. Some of them are still doing well, but the ones that are dead and the ones that are dying like this, I think, at least in the Phoenix area, they're really dying just because we built too many damn malls. It's amazing how many there are in the Phoenix area. It sucks too that this seems to be another situation where the older mall with more character and history and is more fun to look at is the one that's struggling. Meanwhile, the new luxury wing at Scottsdale Fashion Square Mall is doing fantastically, and it's ugly as hell, to be honest with you. I'd rather shop here if I was going to do some luxury shopping. This is just way better to look at. And look at this. This is another fountain, and this may be a first for me. That's actually a fountain in the mall's parking garage. That's how luxurious this place is, that the parking garage has a fountain. And this might be the nicest parking garage I've ever seen. Now, surprisingly, right in front of the parking garage, here's a restaurant, and it's actually empty. I would think the one by the parking garage would be doing okay. But this wing down here might be the deadest of this mall, this little walkway out away from the parking garage into the center point. There's a lot of vacancies. You can see they've done things to, like, they're advertising other stores like the Macy's here inside of one of the empty storefronts. Furniture department located on the 3rd level. That's a lot of Macy's. Now this Forever Flawless, we thought maybe was just closed the day we were here, but if you look, there's one of those landlord lock boxes on here, so clearly these people have, just recently probably been evicted, given the lockbox. I did find it interesting that this display was still spinning in the window, though. Sure, that stuff's a fortune. I've driven past this mall several times before, but I've never really deeply explored it. So I was surprised to see how many vacancies there are and how quiet it is, because when I drive by it always looks like it's busy, but I guess that's just the restaurants around the outside of the mall, things like the aesthetic nightmare that is Cheesecake Factory. I'll definitely be keeping a closer eye on this place now, though. It'll be interesting to see if they can get themselves out of this kind of tailspin that this mall seems to be in. But yeah, once again, when we get into the center, it does look like it has a little bit more life. It's interesting that the name is Biltmore Fashion Park, because that's what it seems like most people are doing, is treating this center area as a park. And that is a huge eucalyptus tree. I bet that's original to when the mall opened in 1963. What are your thoughts on the Biltmore Fashion Park, though? Is this a place that you shop at regularly, and do you think it can get itself out of this rut? I'd love to know down in the comments below. As always, everyone, thanks for watching. Want to see your name here? Head on over to patreon.com/Retail Archaeology to find out how you can help support the channel. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out my video on the Biltmore Fashion Park. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and if you're looking for something else to watch, you can check out one of the videos that I've got links to here.